Alright, we're live. So we're here in the tavern, and we're going to get cracking on some outstanding UI, UX tasks on the OpenPlayground application here. So OpenPlayground Web applications help you experiment with large language models, and we're coming up to the first release, so I've just got to keep touching up the UI here, and I've got a couple of items which I'm just going to crunch through to do with the datasets functionality. So what I've recently done is implemented this presets menu, which we're going to fill out with a lot more example presets, and you've got search, and it's going to be really nice. And we've got a few features here, like being able to hide the example presets which come with the app, which those two are currently, and we've got these nice icons for doing actions. I just want to implement some of those same things for the datasets table here. So this is an example dataset, so I want to again be able to hide that. I want to change these action buttons to those nice icons. Going to have a few more little cases to deal with, such as preventing deleting of example datasets, and there might be some other things too. So I'm just going to dive into that task, and after that maybe move on to some more exciting elements, but this is mostly what it's about, just crunching through these outstanding tasks. So first thing I'm going to do is get the example presets, the hide function, into this table. So I go to my code here, let me just see what I did for the presets table. So I go to the presets table component, or rather the HTML for that component. I've got this hide examples checkbox. That's the kind of thing I want. So do I have a datasets table HTML, or go to my datasets view, which is where this page is being rendered. Datasets table container. So if I go to datasets view.html, yeah, this is where I'm going to put my checkbox. So I'm just going to whack it in there, and we'll see where it ends up. Probably going to have to change. That's interesting. Pages, oh, some strange page reloading there. Okay, so let's put this above that table row. Okay, this is there. I want to move this over to the right. So I'm going to, what I could do is put this on the set in line with the create dataset button, but over here on the right. So I can do that by putting it in the same row. Now it's on the same row, but it's all the way over there. So I'm going to constrain the width of this row to that of the container it's in. So let's investigate that. So I've constrained the width of this table, but I haven't constrained the container. So let me do that. So the table is max width to 70 pixels. That's pretty arbitrary. One of the outstanding tasks before the release is to work on the responsivity, and by that meaning making it look good on all screen sizes. So this will be a dynamically defined thing, the width. But for now, if we whack that there, then this is now looking how we want it. Now I just want that to be a bit more in line with the button, so I can do that with the helper class I have on the row here to center it. That's not what I want. I want to vertical align. No. That's interesting. I did think my oh, misspelled that. No, that's still not right. Now I did think that I was going to get what I wanted here. That's interesting. I have other examples where I've done that and it's given me the desired behaviour. Maybe I need to make the elements columns. Yeah, let's keep that centre. Let's see here. This is more what I want. I think I will just add style. I think it's justify content, space in between, space between. No, it's because these columns are unnecessarily wide. I want each column to be the minimum. So how would I do that? Could I do flex shrink? No. I really don't think I need these columns to get what I want. This is exactly what I want. Okay. Good. So it was the justify content space in between, but with the center class. Excellent. So now I need to make this button do what it's supposed to do. So we've got to set up a listener for this hide example. It's not going to be preset, is it? It's going to be hide example datasets. So this class, we're going to set up a listener for it. So I'm going to go to the datasets view class here, and I'm going to let the class know about this button. So it's the hide example datasets checkbox, and that's indeed what I'm looking for. And now I have a method where I'm going to initialize the listeners of my view, so I'm going to go to that and set up this listener now. So I now want to have a global variable for hide example datasets, defaulting to false, and when this gets changed, we're going to set that to the new value and re-render the view. And so now when rendering the view, and we're getting the datasets that we're going to show, we're now going to filter out the datasets which are example datasets so that we can remove them. So that's going to look like this. So I actually need a flag on the dataset class which says whether it's an example or not. So I'm going to add that, but for now let's assume it's there. So it's going to be is example. Yep, so now I need to go to my dataset. I need to go to my types file, find my dataset class, and add a is example, exactly. So add all the obligatories for this, defaulting to false. And now when I load my example datasets, it's happening in datasets TypeScript file, I'm going to set that flag to true. So this example is true. Now I'm going to have to deal with that error, but first of all I'm going to clear my current application state for the datasets so that we're going to get the new stuff loaded in. And now I'm going to deal with whatever error is preventing us from loading. So the hide example datasets checkbox is null. So the selector that we're using is not right. Hide example datasets checkbox is the class, and in the datasets view, hide example datasets checkbox. There, it's looking for an ID. In fact, an ID makes sense, does it not? So now I click and it's still there. So that's strange. Let's log the dataset items and make sure. Well, let's make sure this is changing. So let's see that this gets logged. It does. So now let's log the datasets here. They don't have the isExample flag. Now why is that? New dataset, isExample true. Types, that's all good. So maybe I didn't successfully clear the state here. I'm looking at isExample equals true. So that's in there, and that's good. So what about when but isExample is not in here. This doesn't look like an object. This is a row. That's not my dataset object. Okay, I see what's going on here. So back into the datasets view. Yeah, here. Okay, I see. These are the rows that we're going to render. These are not. This is confusing because these aren't actually datasets. These are. I'll call these the dataset rows, and I'm going to add the isExample data to that row. So that's not a dataset, this is any now. Well, yeah, let's do it like this. Yeah, let's do it like this. And now I need to just change that reference to the rows. It's the dataset rows. I could call these rows and columns. And abstract this out to a render datasets table method. I think that would make sense. This is all dataset table stuff anyway, so let's just leave it as is. I'm going to change that message, just simply no datasets, and this is working. So that's cool. Next thing is to change these buttons. So this is what I like, these icons. So I'm going to go back to my presets table. Little TypeScript error there. Defining types. That E will have to have one as well if we're using it. Not using it. So where am I defining? This is where I'm defining HTML string that has all my buttons in it. So I'm going to simply copy that. A lot of this same logic will apply, and so I do now wonder whether I should abstract it out. Because we're going to have example presets, example datasets, and example runs, and they're all going to have this logic of showing only certain actions if they are. I'm gonna just copy it for now because it's not exactly clear what will be kept and what will not. It will become clear later on. So where are we? So here's this is the action HTML currently. So let's paste this in here. So now I'm gonna make this expand this out to a proper function. What it is, but whatever you want to call it, longer form, where I can place this logic inside here. Now this is d.id, this is d as example, this will be defined. String number is not assignable to string undefined. Doesn't have to be an ID, does it? So this is can be a number, so if I say as string, yeah, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Example datasets cannot be deleted, you can hide them using the example datasets button. These are now d.id, and this is, we don't have the notion of load a dataset here though, so we can get rid of that. We do have view. We do have delete. We don't have share. That's interesting though. We could do. But we do have. No, let's just get rid of that for now. We don't have share or anything else. We've just got view and delete. So I'm expecting this to look data ID blah, data ID blah, data action. It's going to be view, and that's data action is delete. So now I can swap this out for actions HTML, and we should see what we're after. Those are the icons. Do a bit more padding, margin rather. So I know that in my presets my presets table, we have some more spacing there. So we've got a presets table.css file, and this is where that padding is happening. So that could probably be do with being extracted, but again, I'm not going to do anything crazy or premature here. I'm just going to now go to my datasets, view CSS, and yeah, let's have dataset table container buttons with that padding, and that's cool. Example datasets cannot be deleted. You can hide them by clicking the hide datasets button, so that's pretty nice. And the view button it does. The view button takes me to the records of the dataset. Clicking on it, that's not great. Clicking on it and not much was happening. It's only when I click on it in a certain place I've got some trickiness going on. I've had this before. I think this is how I'm setting up the listeners. So view buttons are those buttons with the data action view. So that looks fine. Doesn't need to be a document though. It can be the dataset table container. No, that does need to be document. And down here we can do this dot data table container. I'm not sure. I don't think that won't make any difference, but means I can do this. It's probably better. So for each view button, yeah, this is where it's going wrong. We don't need to do this target thing. We know the ID from the button b.dataset ID. That's what I'm thinking. So how do I get the dataset of it? So dataset does not exist on element. I'll tell you right now that this is going to be a HTML button element. Argument of type, not assignable to. Okay. That's because these are elements as node list of button elements, that's right. Same thing here. Right, and I'm thinking that's gonna fix it. Yeah, that seems to be working without any nonsense. Cool. That's good. So that's what I set out to achieve. Nice little bit of work. Now, next things I'm going to do include creating an example run. Probably something which uses definitely something which uses one of the example presets run against one of the example datasets. So it's going to be a run that's an example dataset, an example template, and have to fix all that, make sure, understand why that's not working, get that working, and so on. Alright, that's it for now.